It is a split session across global markets, and the divergence tells an important story. Welcome to MTRS_Market Pulse. Here is your complete Forex market briefing for August 12th. Currency markets are being driven by a complex mix of central bank policy, geopolitical risk, and shifting growth expectations. Let us break it all down. Here is a snapshot of how the major currency pairs are trading today. Euro to US dollar is trading at 1.15, losing 0.06% on the session. The world's most traded pair is driven by ECB versus Fed rate differentials. The move in the dollar reflects reports that understanding the role of the European Central Bank Encyclopedia Britannica. Pound sterling to US dollar is trading at 1.35, gaining 0.02% on the session. Sterling is highly sensitive to UK inflation data and Bank of England rate guidance. The move in the dollar reflects reports that why Bitcoin miners are abandoning Bitcoin for ARI. US dollar to Japanese yen is trading at 159.16, gaining 0% on the session. Dollar yen tracks the US-Japan rate differential and Bank of Japan intervention risk. Equity markets are responding to reports that Dow Jones, NASDAQ, S&P 500 weekly preview, inflation data, more tech earnings due investing.com. USD SGD is trading at 0.7814, gaining 0.04% on the session. The Singapore dollar reflects Asian FX sentiment, trade flows, and MAS monetary policy. Equity markets are responding to reports that Trump's tariffs, Fed minutes, rumbles Bitcoin by what's moving markets. Australian dollar to US dollar is trading at 0.7067, gaining 0.16% on the session. The Aussie dollar closely tracks commodity prices, especially iron ore, and Chinese growth signals. The move in the dollar reflects reports that understanding the role of the European Central Bank Encyclopedia Britannica. US dollar to Chinese yuan is trading at 0.1483, gaining 0.08% on the session. The onshore yuan reflects PBOC daily fixings, US-China trade dynamics, and capital flow controls. The move in the dollar reflects reports that why Bitcoin miners are abandoning Bitcoin for ARI. US dollar to Indian rupee is trading at 95.32, losing 0.08% on the session. The Indian rupee tracks RBI monetary policy, FII and FPI capital flows, and US-India interest rate differentials. Equity markets are responding to reports that Dow Jones, NASDAQ, S&P 500 weekly preview, inflation data, more tech earnings due investing.com. Now let us look at the macro forces behind today's currency moves. On the geopolitical front, this comes as US oil rises above $83 a barrel as Iran says Strait of Hormuz won't open until conditions are met, adding pressure to energy markets. This is adding a risk premium across energy markets and supporting safe haven demand. Central bank policy is at the forefront of investor minds. Equity markets are responding to reports that Dow Jones, NASDAQ, S&P 500 weekly preview, inflation data, more tech earnings due investing.com. Investor sentiment is being shaped by Dow Jones, NASDAQ, S&P 500 weekly preview, inflation data, more tech earnings due investing.com. The move in the dollar reflects reports that understanding the role of the European Central Bank Encyclopedia Britannica. The move in the dollar reflects reports that why Bitcoin miners are abandoning Bitcoin for ARI. Our near-term view on Australian dollar to US dollar. With Australian dollar to US dollar moving sideways today, the market is effectively waiting for a fresh catalyst. The $0.7244 level above and $0.6890 below are the levels to monitor for the next directional signal. Currency markets can move fast and unexpectedly. Central bank surprises, geopolitical shocks, and data prints are the key risks to monitor. Here is your market watch list heading into the next session. Keep a close eye on central bank speakers and rate commentary, and key economic data releases. Any one of these could be the catalyst that defines the next major directional move. Independent market coverage, no subscription fees, no paywalls. If this analysis saved you time and helped you think more clearly about the market, please like the video. It costs you nothing and it directly funds more content like this. Subscribe for daily coverage across indices, stocks, commodities, Forex, and crypto. Tell us in the comments, what are you watching most closely right now? That is all from MTRS_Market Pulse for today. All analysis is for informational and educational purposes only and does not constitute financial advice. Always consult a qualified financial advisor. Trade safe, and we will see you in the next one. That is your Forex briefing from MTRS_Market Pulse. Subscribe for daily currency coverage.